Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a good one for you today. Listen to this rundown. Robinhood's back in the news. VanEck BTC ETF, there's a 45-day countdown. Kentucky legislation and Bitcoin mining. What is going on? And the mayors all across the country, we're going to talk about it. Bank of America makes bold claim and a bold admission. We're going to cover that. What if Exxon mined Bitcoin? Ooh. SBI, big news for crypto all around, and breaking news from Morgan Stanley, and we'll talk about the larger narrative of what that means. Let's roll that beautiful intro. Here we go.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley above at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here. 8,884 cryptocurrencies in the space, and I can guarantee you this much today. There is not 8,884 use cases. Head on a swivel, folks. 1.8 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency collectively. What is the talk of the town going to be when we break that 2 trillion mark for crypto, knowing that gold is an 8 trillion market cap? Wow. Think of it. All right, let's get moving right now. The price of XRP is 47 cents. We are ranging between 46.07 and 48.91. We're at 0.4717 right now, 47 cents right now. Let's go ahead and get into this news. There's a lot to cover. Stay with us here. Robinhood has big plans for crypto trading and expects to offer lower costs than rivals like Coinbase CEO said in this article here. So, look, Robinhood is obviously trying to work out some damage control because that whole GameStop thing did not work out well for them there. So SEC publishes, this is from XRP Crypto Wolf, and shout out to everybody who sends news. SEC publishes VanEck's Bitcoin ETF application, kicking off decision clock. The regulator now has 45 days to approve or deny the Bitcoin ETF application. Just full disclosure, VanEck is very good and well known for many, many years at introducing new products and new ETFs and things of this nature. So if anybody's going to get it right, I would expect it would be someone like VanEck. Now, this is not the first time VanEck has put forth a Bitcoin ETF, and it has been shot down before. Let's see what goes on here. Again, I just want to float this understanding that there has been heavy talk about proof of work having some kind of carbon footprint tax. Certainly here on this channel and other places we've covered it. I would look for things like that to happen. If we do see this ETF approved, I think it means extremely good things, and it will probably send Bitcoin into the stratosphere. None of what I say is financial advice. Kentucky legislature approves bills providing incentives for crypto miners. The bill will introduce energy and tax breaks for cryptocurrency mining operations. See, this is where I see the states, all around the country, and you're going to see even more evidence here of ways to incorporate cryptocurrency and bring those businesses, those miners, to their state. And it's pretty interesting. Miami mayor says mayors across the U.S. are exploring Bitcoin payment options for residents and employees. How about that one? So this integration and getting it into the day-to-day, if you will, and into the acceptance of companies coming to states and providing incentives tells me that there's a long-term scenario. I have said this many times. I think Bitcoin lives the long war, but it may lose a battle on the short end when it comes to proof of work getting hit with some kind of carbon footprint tax, knowing that the world is trying to go green, right? Just keep those things in mind. And if I just full disclosure, I feel like that means we may see some short-term pain for like Bitcoin if they introduce a tax like that, but we may see, it recover very well. And once it adjusts to that new tax structure, boom, I think it could be right back where it needs to be and beyond, but that's just my speculation, right? So Bank of America claims it costs just $93 million to move Bitcoin's price by 1%. Now, see, that's an issue, right? That's an issue for large investors and funds, even though we're seeing people move into it. I think we need to see much deeper pool, and it's $1 trillion plus market cap, ladies and gentlemen. But we need to see a much deeper pool of investment to make sure that the price of Bitcoin can't just, at will be moved. And that is still a very big problem for major investors. So we'll see if they have a solution for that going forward. Here's another piece right here that says, Bank of America sees DeFi potentially more disruptive than Bitcoin. I think this is smack dead on. And I don't even think it's fair to say Bitcoin at this point. I think bigger than cryptocurrency itself. DeFi is just going to be massive because it is finance. It is decentralized finance in general. So it is where banking and finance is going. It is, I believe, the future of finance and is just getting started. So it is pretty exciting right there to see them. And it also kind of shows to me the kind of angle I think they're going to want to take, and position themselves to win in the DeFi sector and to make sure that they stay powerful, in control, and relevant, right? Everything becoming a node in a payment network, it comes down to transaction fees, doesn't it? All right, so this here is from Great American Mining, but it was shared to me by Rob Licker. I want you to listen to this. This is a former Xerox CEO right here, giving her opinion that what if Exxon comes in and starts mining Bitcoin? Listen to this clip right here.
Not at all. This is, ExxonMobil doesn't take a lot of things lightly. I don't think they take anything lightly. So if they say it, they're going to try to do it.
You can see more of that interview on our Evolve series, of course. Ursula Burns will be up there today. Jim, interesting to listen to her. Of course, you and I have spent a good amount of time lately talking about Exxon, doing some reporting on it as well.
They need to be a little more creative. They need to be able to say, listen, you know what, we're going to flare, and we're going to take the flare, we're going to use the energy, and we're going to, mine for Bitcoin. I'm not kidding. But
wow. I mean, could just imagine for a second if Exxon actually jumps in the game of mining for Bitcoin. Oh my, oh my. That's a pretty interesting thought right there, isn't it? And listen, there's a larger narrative here too, and we're going to get to that in just a second here because I want to make that point here when we get to the next piece or two of news here. So let's move here. But remember, the idea of Exxon jumping in and mining Bitcoin. Japan's SBI, shout out to Yoshitaka Kitao and the whole crew, opens its Bitcoin mining pool for the public. The move means institutional and individuals looking to mine Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies can join the SBI Crypto Pool service. This is more evidence that, outside of the U.S., things are moving quite quickly. There is strong momentum moving around the world. I think that puts incentive pressure back on the U.S. to get the things right that they need to get right. Let's get Gary Gensler confirmed. For goodness sakes, what are we waiting on here? Is it going to be Dr. Brummer over at the CFTC? If so, let's get him on the docket. Let's get him confirmed, shall we? Let's figure out if it's not going to be Michael S. Barr in the OCC. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Marissa Baradaran? She could be a good fit there too. But if so, let's get them confirmed and let's get that unified regulatory framework delivered to all of us and the institutions and the large legacy firms of the world so they can make clear, concise moves to set up in this space. Let's take a look at this. Deutsche Bank says Bitcoin is too important to ignore. Deutsche Bank's report states that Bitcoin price could continue to rise if it continues to attract asset managers and companies. They came up with that all by themselves. What's interesting here is the point that I wanted to make going into this next thing, okay? The idea of Exxon getting into mining, Deutsche Bank recognizing they can no longer turn a blind eye to cryptocurrency market. It's too big. And here we see another sign of this right here. Morgan Stanley is bidding for BitThumb, South Korea's top crypto exchange, for a $2 billion valuation. That's what's going on here. The larger narrative here for me, to be honest, is that I'm looking at the larger conventional companies, legacy firms of the world, banks and institutions are making their move. They're coming into this space and they're saying, you know what? The space has gotten big enough, and they're not innovators. They're buyers. And why do I have to innovate a cryptocurrency platform when I can just buy BitThumb? Right? That's what's going on. In any emerging market, this happens. If you go back to the internet, in the early days of the internet, there were acquisitions and mergers and partnerships that went on for years and years and years. And to a degree, these things are still happening, right, in certain areas. So, but when you're seeing it in a young emerging market, and then you start to see that those acquisitions are happening by conventional companies and legacy firms and financial institutions from the conventional markets, there's your sign. There's your sign that this is going to a brand new place. A transformation is coming, and it will be the control. What you're seeing is they're buying their position in this by buying a company like BitDump, and then they're saying, now we're in the game, and now we can stay relevant because we are in this cryptocurrency game, and we have now become one of the places you go to get it. This is why I talk about Link2 all the time. You do have to be an accredited investor to buy these SPVs that they offer. They have really great products on here. Bloomreach is great, $900 million valuation, been around since 2009. We all know Link2. We know Uphold's been crushing it. Kraken, if you can find it before it sells out in like 24 hours. But the other part is, if you're not accredited, they do offer access to be able to prepare and take a Series 65 so you can become accredited without having to meet the criteria of the salary or portfolio. So keep that in mind. They are very, very helpful with those things. So make sure you keep an eye on that. Now let's keep this going here, because Ripple's expansion plans have not been halted by ongoing XRP Securities lawsuit, as it appoints a new managing director for the Southeast Asia region. Shout out to Brooks Entwistle, who was recently appointed, former executive of Uber and many other things, has 3 decades of experience in payments and setting up companies and helping them deepen their relationships in the areas that they're in. And it's going to be very exciting to see what he does. And I mentioned this in the previous video that I did today, and I just want you to know that if you haven't heard it, you heard it here. And number 2, this is more signs that Ripple understands clearly that there is a global decentralized asset called XRP. And regardless of what the United States thinks of it, they're working on it outside of there, because they all understand what we understand as retail investors. XRP has use case utility, and it actually can do everything that it says it can do. And it's been proven for years. Now, take a look at this right here. We are looking at one final piece of information I did want to share with everybody here. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says central bank-backed digital currencies must coexist alongside cash and other forms of money. He also did go on to say that there needs to be a public-private relationship. Now, this is big news if you're new to the space, because before now, Jerome Powell has been reluctant and actually adamant about not allowing private companies to have a public-private relationship with the Fed to achieve this goal of making cross-border payments faster and to help with the acceleration and the launch of a digital dollar for the United States. That's where we're at on this day. There's really great stuff going on. Head on a swivel. This is crypto. You never know. One more question before we go. Where's Gary Gensler's confirmation? And he's a shoo-in. Why is it taking this long to get it done? TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Make sure you check out all the links in the description and the comment box. I Trust Capital, the best crypto, gold, silver IRA on the planet. Make sure you check them out. They really, really are. You'll find out for yourself. I'll catch all of you on the next one.